a rather damp West Country. While we're just waiting for people to get to their chairs, grab a cup of coffee or whatever, just take a look at the opening screen there, just to remind folks that this is the second in a series of webinars specifically aimed at newly qualified and developing endurance coaches. Last time we covered drills. We're going to have a look at conditioning. We won't be able to manage to do it all, but we will do as much as we can to give a grounding. The next time, if you're going to follow the series that you'll see us, will be on next Saturday morning. So bring some coffee and a bacon butty. We'll see you Saturday morning for intervals. That's Saturday week, and the following Saturday for Oregon's. What would be good is to post to Darren, who's ably supporting again in the background. Thanks ever so much, Darren. Is to let him know, where do you want to go after that then? What should we be looking at? Good evening, Kerry. Nice to see you. So yeah, where would you like to go with after that? Would you like to go to look at for the newly qualified and developing coaches? Are we going to look at planning and goal setting, or would you like to develop drills and conditionings a little bit further? Let us know. Okay, so we've got people booking in all the time now. It looks like the tech is working, which is great. We are quite time managed. I've got quite a bit to go through just to let you know how we're going to work this. As we did say, this is all about starting with conditioning. Hello, Graham. So we're going to start with the conditioning. We've got a few slides to open up with. We're going to go with some video recording. Most of the videos are actually done by athletes that I coach in a local perspective, which is good. So it does show that that they've done really well. If you missed the opening webinar drills, it is available on the EA web. I've seen it up there, so you can have a look. Okay, so without further ado, let's get going. So let's start with conditioning. One fallacy: you don't need one of these. Okay, you don't need a 7-foot Olympic bar with a heap of weights to start people on conditioning. Okay, you might use it at some stage, but you don't need it. Why would you focus on conditioning? You will see it put up as ROM. You will gain an improved range of movement. You will gain better running economy. One bullet that isn't in there, which really ought to be, I guess, as I wrote it, would be better ABC: agility, balance, coordination. It will help. You will gain improved performance. I love the word avoidance of injury. The stronger you are, the better conditioned you are, the less chance that you are going to get getting injured. Everybody gets injured. It can happen to all of us at some stage, but it's a good place to start. And you feel good. So there you go. So there's our focus: increased range of movement, improved running economy, improved performance, better ABC, agility, balance, coordination, avoidance of injury, and feel good. It's got to be good. Got to be good. It's for everybody. There's pictures there of my local gang in various guises. There's endurance guys, there's speedsters, there's ultras, there's an older generation there down the bottom right, Steve, bless him. There's a lot there, but it's for everybody, and it's for the road runners, it's for the ultra guys, it's the couch to 5Ks, it's everybody. Where can I do my conditioning? Absolutely anywhere. Planet, coach, but you can do it anywhere. Top left, hire a sports hall. Everybody put a couple of pounds in the pot, hire a sports hall for an hour. Schools would, well, they will, not at the moment, but they will open their doors with open arms. There's another clip there of my mob doing them outside a bunch of garages. On the sand, we're lucky, but make use of what you've got around you. And also on the infield of a track. But that's not the only places, but basically it gives you an example of anywhere you can. When should I do this? Within your warm-up? Definitely. You can use these conditioning protocols as part of the warm-up. Why would you not use them as part of the cool down? I think the only caveat there is if the shapes aren't correct in the warm-up, you might not want to use them in the cool down. You could do them within a session. You've done a warm-up, done the first set of your run or the first part of your run, pause, do some conditioning, go back to the run, go to the cool down, and it can be a standalone set. Just a whole session on conditioning. Okay, so really up to you. Here we go with some videos now. I will talk you through the videos. I might play them once or twice. A lot of the ones I said you've seen will be from my local team. This gentleman here is the author of The Supple Leopard, and he's showing you a couch stretch. If you wish to buy one book that will help you understand conditioning, I suggest you buy The Supple Leopard, and it is out on PDF, so you don't have to spend 30 odd quid, but it's a good buy. So here we go. The couch stretch, before we play the video, really is working on the hip complex through quad and hamstring and torso. So it's a really cracking one. And here is Harriet. And Harriet is going to set up for us a couch stretch. Where you go, Harriet. Now, Harriet's done that before, I think. So we're going to let her have another go at it. Now, come on, Harriet, show us how it's done. There you go. Now, if I'm quick and pause that a moment. No, not fast enough, Mark. You can see the angles there. Look at the way that the knee is next to the wall, toe pointing upwards, nice straight back, nice right angle, a little bit of roll on the left foot there, Harriet, but that's a good couch stretch. You run on your feet, so why would you not condition your feet? Good thought process. You want a listening foot, a foot that is reactive, a foot that is supple. You might be able to almost try and curl your toes around a ball. It's movement. So one way of conditioning your feet, flicks. It can be through sand, could be through long grass, dragging the foot barefoot, toes underneath, pulling out and across. Great one to do. Yeah? Should we have another quick look at that one? Excuse me. So sand flicks, we're conditioning our feet. There are variations on all of these. I've only got limited time, so I picked the ones that I feel are most relevant. We know as coaches and athletes that the squat pattern is one of the most important and often underrated patterns that endurance athletes will have. So now we're going to look at a squat, but we're going to look at, as an introduction, a wall squat. Now there's Laura. Laura's going to set up a wall squat for us. Now I've stopped her there. And if again, you can see a lot of concentration. It's difficult, actually. A lot of lovely right angles, straight, looking ahead, flat against the wall, holding that for, you might start with beginners athletes holding it 20 seconds. Yeah? Have another go, Laura, because I think it's really good. There we go. Nice right angles. Any wall will do. Flat, concentrate, hold it. There are lots of variations on squats, and you would move from this to free squat. I'm going to show you a progression 2 or 3 stages on, but still a squat, and this is what you would know as a sumo squat. And it's a mobile squat. This guy's an international 4 hurdler, so he's pretty good. So you wouldn't go to here from Laura's wall squat straight to here. You would go through a free squat, but it's a good place to look. Have another quick look because we're okay for time. It's good. So we've conditioned hip complex. We've had a look at the hips. We've had a look at the feet. We've had a look at the fundamental movement pattern of the squat. You know, we've got to really start thinking about our trunk, our hamstrings, our glutes, basically the complex of muscles that runs down through there. And I would introduce a bridge. Now we've got some introductions on bridges here. This will be a standard bridge. And I'm going to stop him. Too late. Keep going, Luke. Let's get him there. Now, we'll run it again for you, just a moment. My technology, not Luke's fault. Brilliant. Okay, that position there would have been exactly where the beginner would start. Don't worry about raising and lowering the hips. Get them to do this. Look at the straight line between shoulder, trunk, hip, knee. Feeling the force through the ankle. Foot is on the floor, but you're feeling the foot is through the ankle. That's a pretty good bridge, Luke. Well done, mate. We like that. I don't even know if he's watching. Now we're going to ask Luke to do another one here, where he's actually going to bring a leg into action, and the leg should be parallel to the support leg. There. Parallel to the support leg, nice and straight. We'd like a little bit more with the toe pointing towards the shin, a little bit more dorsiflexion, as they say, laces up, but that's good. We like that, Luke. That's very good. Now, just to prove that you don't have to be a teenager or late teenager to do this, Simon, one of my more mature athletes, he won't mind me saying this, does a pretty good job. Now, look at that. That is parallel. Everything in nice straight lines. Yeah, excellent. We like that. That's pretty good, Simon. You did ask me if it was all right. I think it's excellent. Now, we've done this. I also think that we ought to be looking at another key exercise. There's only a couple more, 2 actually, and it's a bug. Okay, so we're going to get Harriet now back on the mat, and Harriet's going to set up a bug for us. Now, look how she sets this up. Look, flat, right angles, straight up. That's how to set it up. Do not move until you can set that up. Now that's difficult. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Funny enough, that's how you run. But that's a very good bug, but very difficult to do. So hurry slowly, set it up. It'll look good. Now, if you just excuse me a minute, we'll just flip through some slides. Oh, we missed one. Silly mark. Sorry, guys. We said plank, didn't we? So Harriet's taken the bug, and we've now progressed this to a plank, where Laura is going to show us a plank. Now, if I can stop this again, great. Look where the heels are. They're extended with the toes in front, a flat line through here, flat across the head. I would prefer the arms to go straight out rather than trying to hold hands, but that's a good plank, Laura. And sorry, I didn't mean to try and miss you out. We'll have another go. So look how she sets it up, engages glutes, ankles, shoulders, head. There we go. Cracking. We like that. I'm sorry to have now what I wanted to show you was this. It actually helps. Here's Harriet on the left hand side, 12 months or so ago, and if you look at the curve in there, Harriet is running basically with her lower back and not losing her glutes, not using her hamstrings, but she is powerful, it's quick. And we had to do an awful lot of work, and we're still doing work. And if you look at this curvy thing here, we now have got this. This is Harriet lunging. Look at the lines, the stability, the straight. There's still, yeah, there's improvement to come on. That's this side here, a little bit curvy there. But this is so much better, so much better. Okay. So we go back to here. That's the end of the videos. All these videos will be uploaded onto Athletics Hub. You can see them and replay them time and time again, should you wish. So a few take homes, I guess. Where would I look? Where would I help? Online, you have Movement Skill 1. Movement Skill 2 is coming online. These should be courses that you can do yourself through Athletics Hub. Physical preparation courses run by people like me will be out there eventually. Whether I can come and see you or not, I'm not sure, but eventually we can. On the left-hand side, just look at the name to begin with, squat. Yeah, of course, it could be double leg, single leg, but squat, a fundamental movement. Lunge, a fundamental movement. How you would push and pull. Brace, which is the plank variant, which we had a look, didn't we? We had a look at the plank, some of the plank, just a very basic plank, and hopping, landing and fixing. Those are just the basics of fundamental movement, but we go right back to beginning. Some of those exercises is what we could. So important, earn the right to progress. Your athlete has to get the exercise right to earn the right to progress. It is competency based and not time managed, he says, jumping a loop. You regress to progress sometimes. Sometimes we've got to go backwards to go forwards. And don't hurry it, hurry slowly. It's a great coaching slogan, yeah? And keep it fun. Plank, yeah? You don't have to do plank stacks. That's quite difficult, but it's great fun. So there we go. That's the presentation. I will try to answer as many questions as I can. Let's see what happens. The couch, Nick Crew. Hello, Nick. The couch stretch looks hard. Is there a progression for that one? Do you mean, is there a way that you can set it up slowly? Yes. You can certainly by putting your hand on a box and gently moving your way so you maintain the upright position. I don't get royalties here. Go to the Supple Leopard. There are all the progressions in beautiful pictorial evidence there. But yeah, use a box. Jen, a lot of these are positions used in yoga. Would you recommend as conditioning? Well, yoga is conditioning, so is Pilates, providing, in inverted commas, they are set up correctly and they are monitored correctly. Good positions are the only thing we should be interested in. Darryl, when advising athletes on stretches and exercises, when should the athlete feel that they are doing it right? Is there a clue sheet for home exercising? I guess you could find one. There are certainly some protocols. I would go back to the videos that we've used and say, when you can see those right angles, those stability shapes coming in, you got it right. And the athlete will feel that once you start to show them with a little video of them doing it, so is it okay if I show you a video of you? And you see maybe a negative shin in a lunge. That means that the shin is going behind rather than vertical. Oh yeah, I can see that. We'll straighten it up. The guys that I've shown you doing this have taken a long time to get these exercises right. So yeah. How long should a conditioning session last? Lee, I think that depends very much on where it sits within your program and what you are aiming to get out of it. If it was a conditioning, you were using conditioning protocols as part of your warm up, how long have you got with your athletes? Me, to have an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes with my athletes, that conditioning session would last maybe 20 minutes. If it was a pure conditioning session, physical prep, I think an hour would be enough because you're going to lose the shapes. The athlete's going to get too tired. So I think that actually the session will be conditioned, and the length of the session will be led by how well the athlete is holding shape. How many exercises should you include per session? Only the number that the athlete can do. So you may start off with just 3. Can we do those 3? Fine, we'll add another one. Hurry slowly, don't bombard them with it, but try and get an all-over conditioning. So we're looking at glutes, we're looking at back, we're looking at trunk. Try and we're looking at feet. But yeah, so don't overload it. Just a few, get it right. Future session, could you run through ramp? Now, raise, activate, mobilize, potentiate. That's what it means. Yeah, basically you're getting ready to do the session, and you would do these conditioning sets could do it, but you raising your heart rate, yeah, you're activating your muscle groups, you're mobilizing your body, and you are showing in some form or other what you are going to give examples to your body of what it's going to do and get it ready for the session. If you have a look at the drills session, there's a on Athletics Hub, there is a little bit more on ramp there. If you want to ask a more detailed question or me to give you a more detailed answer, chuck that question on the Southwest Athletics Network and I'll gladly fill it in for you. Any suggestions for practicing hop and fix? Any suggestions for practicing hop and fix? I would say don't do too many hops. So why don't you practicing 1, 2 hops and fix, and don't move to 3 hops and fix. But also you are looking for a nice upright posture and a soft controlled landing on the fix. So I would say again, hurry slowly, and remember that hop and fix could be multi-directional, but to begin with, let's get it right in a straight line. So do not put too much power through until the athlete can actually fix, and the word is fix. They are going to fix the landing. Would you advise varying forms of cardio aid in conditioning and prevent overtraining? Whoa, would you advise any forms of cardio aid in condition? I'm not sure I understand the question, Catherine. Could you type it in a slightly different way? Or are you saying should they not be doing too many exercise to prevent them overtraining? Because that's the coach's job. For each size exercise, how many reps should you do? Also for ones which are held, plank held. Again, let's go back now, is to don't go back to the old-fashioned word circuit. Circuit's a horrible word. We're going to do 2 minutes of press-ups. Well, the press-ups are rubbish after 20 seconds. So why are you doing them? Do the reps for the length of time that the shape that you're looking for is held, and then cut it. And then say, next time, we'll try it for a little bit longer, but you stay where you are till you're ready to move on. Also, for the ones that are held for a plank, it's the same protocol. You're holding the exercise, the plank or the bug, for the amount of time that the shape is, and actually it's less time than that, isn't it? So if the athlete can hold the plank for 20 seconds, then we'll say we'll go for 15, because you want excellent shape, but you can do repetitions, can't you? So we'll do 3 sets of 15 seconds, that type of thing. In your experience, what is the most effective proportion of conditioning to other training times of the week? What? I think that depends. It's a very open question, and I hope that I'm answering it in the right way, Tom. You have to ask your athletes how much time can they give you. Therefore, you can start working in a proportion of training and an effective conditioning. I ask my athletes to do work at home now, but I ask them to do work at home anyway. So if I'll give you an example. If an athlete with me is having able to do something 6 days a week with 1 day a week rest, I would put in 2 conditioning sessions within that week. I think what you're saying, we provide rowing. I would say you want some recovery work. Sorry, oh, I read this wrong. You left out the word "to." I meant, would you advise? Oh, I see. Okay, right. Sorry, Catherine. The glories of me reading, you typing. I would say that some recovery work in the week is absolutely crucial. Why don't you get on a bike? Why don't you go rowing? Why don't you get in the pool and swim? Again, I would use the example of my guys. I had one young lady that ran too many times and as a recovery and got injured. But now what we do is we have a swim session or a bike session, and that works really well. So maybe on a Tuesday, you've had an interval set. On the Wednesday, go swimming, get on the bike. As you say, row, provide some cardio, but without the impact, and you're ready again to go Thursday. But remember, recovery means recovery. So don't make it an absolute eyeballs out rowing or bike set on the Wednesday. It's cardio, it's physio, it's getting better. I hope that's better. Oh, lots of great amateur videos and exercises, but are there any plans for EA to produce an official range of videos we could share with athletes? James, I don't know. I have a bank of them. Again, if you wanted me to show you some of the ones of the guy of the 4 hurdler, I could share some of them, given that there's probably about 200 of the blooming things. But I don't think there are some on the Athletics Hub already. Go to the Athletics Hub, look at coaching videos, and you see what there are. There are some there. It might be worth starting from there, then come back to me, James, with ones that you can't find. Would you consider Oregon circuits as a good option for conditioning perspective? Mark Pawley. Hello, Mark. You've jumped to the week after next. Yes, absolutely. We will consider Oregon circuits in detail after we've looked at intervals as the great option of the mix of conditioning, drills, interval, the whole cake. Could you tell us about the advantages of doing various conditioning exercises on different surfaces? Well, different surfaces will give you different challenges. So let's start on a relatively good surface, like you saw Harriet, for example, on grass, a good surface, not too hard, good firm exercise. So you might go, let's take your example, hop and stick on the grass. Great. Hop and stick on the sand, that's unstable. So you might have to say, well, if you can't hop and stick on grass, we're not ready for hopping and sticking on sand. Now, I've actually had guys hopping and sticking in water on the tide line, so they actually can't see what they're landing in. That's even harder. But yeah, they are great, but you must get the initial exercise right before you move to a more unstable surface. I hope I managed to answer the questions that have come up. We're still here. We've got time if you would like to ask any more questions. While I will babble away for a moment while you're doing that. I would point you towards the Southwest Endurance Network as a Facebook group. You don't have to be my friend. It's a closed group. I'll just allow you in, providing you're not a member of 200 groups and have got no friends. You can also post questions, or there's an awful lot of information out there on there. Definitely go to the Athletics Hub, where there are all of these webinars, plus others are up there and have been you can look at them again and again and again. I know the drills one has just gone up there, so this little bank would do well. I go back to what we said before. What would you like to do after we've done intervals? Remember, is coming up, and as Mark Pauly just mentioned, Oregon's is following in on that. That would be a key one to look at. And then what we would have to say is, well, where do you want to go from there? What would you be like to? And remembering it is aimed at starting coaches off, maybe something on goal setting and planning, but really over to you on that one, guys. Do we have any more questions? Oh, hello, Tony. Hello, Tony. Where does stretching sit during an initial warm-up? Well, there's lots of thoughts on that, and I can only give you what I think is my thought. Stretching, if you would, let's go back to ramp. So if we are going to raise, activate, mobilize, potentiate to begin with, the stretch during the initial warm-up would be mobile. It would be active. When we come to the cool down, when the body is warm, all the tendons, all the muscles are still doing what they should be doing, no reason at all why you could not start to do more static stretches and try and increase range of movement. But remembering that the range of movement for an endurance athlete does not have to be enormous. It's the lines of symmetry that you're looking for. I refer back to Simon with his plank bridge, earlier on. Beautiful lines of symmetry. Could you go through the best technique for a squat? I think that's what you meant. Whoa. Okay. I will try verbally to give you what I think is the best technique for a squat. First of all, you want to be standing nice and tall with your legs or feet shoulder width apart, not like Arnie Schwarzenegger. Okay. Feel the whole of the floor screwed through your feet. So you really want good foot contact. Not barefoot. You can do it in decent trainers, but you want good foot contact. Okay, and then putting your arms out horizontally. In your mind, think sit. So that you start to sit, and you'll go to a point where either your heels will come off the floor, which is a place to stop, or you are starting to collapse over your knees, again, a place to stop. How can I help myself with that? With the heels, it's easy. Put something underneath your heels, a small piece of wood. Or you get a TheraBand or an exercise band, anchor it to a point or a partner, and go through that position again by using the band to just balance you, not hold you, just balance you to the point where you have got the squat position. And as you practice it and practice it and practice it, you will start to be able to let go of that band and you won't need it. I hope so. Hope that was good. Do you have any requirement on exercises athletes should be able to do to return to running from injury? Are able to hold form for a certain number of reps? I think it depends on the injury, Tom. I would say that how many. I'll use Harriet as an example. She was had an injury. We were working on it. We would again work on the number of reps that could be held in the correct position. So let's take your example of a single leg squat, which is quite difficult. and I would be questioning, why are we doing a single leg squat in rehab? What are we trying to get out of it? But the rep is, can you hold the squat? Can you get the range of movement that is desired? Do you stop at the range of movement? And once you've found where you can't go, what are you going to do about it? That's a whole different program, isn't it? That is when we're talking about physical preparation and screening. Maybe something for another time. Screening for inability or lack of range of movement, and what are we going to do? Should we increase conditioning, I guess, along with increases of mileage for marathon type training? I think it goes hand in hand. If Michelle Maxwell's out there, I don't know whether she's online tonight, that I wouldn't say you increase it. It is absolutely hand in hand with it, and you should do this. So although you are desperately trying to find ways to increase your mileage, you should not negate your conditioning, because otherwise I'm afraid you might end up with an injury. So we should continue the amount of conditioning we do, and maybe we should change the word increase of mileage to increases of intensity. And as the intensity increases, the amount of conditioning we will have to do will increase linear to that. Should athletes do heavy lifting such as Olympic lifting, as many of the running community seem to advocate this? Michelle, hi. Well, as I showed you in the first screen, you don't have to do it. And if you cannot do a decent squat, you're not going to do a heavy squat. Personally, my view is that it is not necessary from the endurance community. I would much rather see them doing more reps of light weights with the correct with the correct technique. You can do some Olympic lifting as screening, i.e. an overhead squat, but it's very difficult. You can do deadlifts, all these Olympic lifts, but they do not have to be heavy. What conditioning exercises would you suggest for working with athletes who suffer from plantar? Underneath one's foot, yeah. I would get to begin with, I would take the shoe off. I would get a firm tennis ball, and I would ask you to roll gently the full length of your foot slowly across that tennis ball until you find the point of discomfort, and then gently massage it. You'll get to a point where you think, that feels okay. Move from the tennis ball to a lacrosse ball and do the same. The caveat to this is, if you think you are working slowly, you're not working slowly enough. It needs to be a really slow roll, and the amount of pressure is done from the put on by the athlete. It's called self-myofascial release. And again, you will see a lot of that in the Supple Leopard, where he talks about this and shows you some very, very good pictorial evidence of this. For road running, should we focus on certain types of conditioning as opposed to track and field? I'm going to be quite blunt. No, I think they're pretty much the same. I think that your conditioning and I've talked about overall body conditioning. Simon, who you saw on there doing the bridge for us, comes from a road running background. His focus was London sub 3. He will do the half marathon, the virtual half marathon that I'm putting together in September, and he does all the same conditioning as the track and field gang, as the ultra gang. So as a base answer, Darren, I would say no, they're the same. A club mate training from decided she didn't have time to do Pilates. She got injured, then noticed her rehab exercises were close to her. That's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I haven't got time and I got injured. I'm going to do another run. That's a typical example. So no, I would say that make time. But it's the coaches, and we'll go back to Mark's comment about Oregon circuits. Come and see us the week after next when we discuss Oregon's, and that will show you how you can fit it all in. It's an absolute peach. Any thoughts on conditioning when injured? Can you do much? Graham. Hello, Graham. You again, I think it depends totally on the injury. You can do an awful lot, but you need to have a coach that understands your injury. You need an athlete that's honest about their injury, maybe that's seen a good physio, i.e. a chartered physiotherapist. So we know what we're looking at. But yeah, you can do a lot. But I would go back to it is conditioning. I would go back to self-myofascial release. A lot of this can help you get on the road to start you off to get back to working on some more of the more traditional units that I've shown you today. How are we doing, people? We've still got a little bit of time. We covered a lot of ground, a lot of videos, a lot of very good videos. Oh, there's okay. I'll talk through this. I head up the Southwest Endurance Network. You don't have to be in the Southwest anymore. We're nationwide. And one of my athletes that I help wants to do a half marathon early September time to get ready for a potential spring marathon. So we have put together a virtual half, and you can do it between dates, so it doesn't have to be on the date, between the 6th and the 20th of September. It's free to enter. There are no prizes, but all the times Strava linked will come up, and it will be good to see a number of you doing it. So there we go, people. I think that's about it. I'll just leave Darren to post any final notes. And Darren, if you want to, when you've done, you can actually close the webinar. That's fine. I will close myself off unless there are any final questions. Lovely to see you all. Don't forget, the next one is on Saturday week at 10 o'clock in the morning. Bring the coffee and the bacon butties.